I'm sure that it's not, just perfectly seamless to do that
No,
sort of thing.
it's far from perfectly seamless. Perfectly seamless is the very opposite of that. Maybe my smooth talking makes things sound too easy, but no. You know.
Welcome back to NEMT Experts. I have a very interesting, multifaceted entrepreneur guest with me today, Tommy Green. Tommy, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you today, Nirav?
Rocking and rolling. Thanks for being with me. So, Tommy, you interestingly are an entrepreneur in many different ways. One of your focus areas is NEMT. You run your own NEMT business. You contract out to other NEMT businesses, and we'll get to your franchising a bit later. But you want to just give the audience a quick background about yourself. And I know you have a very colored background, so this could take up the whole episode. But if you want to just, hit on.
We're gonna focus on the background right now, right?
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. As you said, I am an entrepreneur. I have my hands in a few different businesses, but one business that really keeps my attention every day and makes me really work is my non-emergency medical transportation business. It's one of the businesses that I accidentally kind of got into, but ended up being one of my best revenue streams, most lucrative businesses in terms of like feeling good about what you're doing. And it's turned into a passion of mine. This industry is a wide open industry for anyone who wants to work hard, have a little customer service, and get people to their well-needed medical appointments. So it's been a real fun ride into the industry. We're about 5 years in now. And we've learned a lot in that 5 years about this industry. We did everything wrong you could do possibly to start. And then that helped us learn how to do right by, getting the right licensing, finding the right territories, and really honing in on what makes the company money. It's been an interesting ride, but we're still in it, and it's going up right now.
And it's about to get a lot more interesting for you, which we're going to touch on in this episode. But you and I were talking the other day about how NEMT, compared to the other businesses, the other entrepreneurial endeavors that you have going on, it's probably one of the more boring businesses, but in a good way. Like, it's resistant to economic cycles or whatever's going on. People always got to go for healthcare appointments. And you have this book out that basically explains, the 5 great reasons to own an NEMT business. And you're known for helping NEMT business owners go from 0 to 1. And especially because you have this background in, SEO, digital marketing, building your online presence, seems to have played a big role in you building up Safe Travels, which is your NEMT business and brand. Today's episode is going to be focusing on an NEMT business, how to get from 0 to 1, marketing your business, winning private pay, working with other NEMT businesses in your area. And Tommy, I just want you to take it off with the marketing piece. So, you're an NEMT business, you're just starting up, you're new. You got to start getting trips in the door by letting people in your area know that you exist and you're available to take trips. What's your take it away?
Yeah, no, that's the tough part, figuring out how to get business, right? So a lot of companies, it's easy. I won't even say it's easy. It's still difficult to get started, but once you actually do get started and you're up and running, how do you get people to know that you're available, right? So that's when you really have to invest in your online presence. Your digital marketing footprint and your online presence of your business is really more important than you actually driving the vehicle. You have to put those seeds in the ground, your digital marketing seeds. When I say that, I mean like all your SEO and digital marketing work that has to be put in the ground, because those things take time to bloom. So the more that you understand digital marketing, understand that you need your Google My Business page optimized, understand that you need your website optimized for your local area. The more that you understand that, the more that you can actually build on that digital marketing profile. And with having that strong digital marketing profile, what that's going to open up for you is the private pay transportations that we spoke about. It's going to open up the relationships with other transportation companies that you'll begin to build. It's also going to open up private pay opportunities with facilities who see your digital marketing profile and they're like, oh, okay, wow, this company looks trustworthy. They have a great website. Their Google My Business page is all updated. They have 5 stars on Google. Let me call this company and see if they're available. So that sort of trust that you build with that online community is what really drives in business in this industry. The more that you can make that robust profile across all of those platforms, and there's a lot of different platforms out there that'll help you boost that. But once those are all optimized, you'll see yourself sitting close or to the top of Google. And those companies that sit there are the ones that reap the benefits of private pay, relationships, and just all the things that come with being at the top of Google.
Yeah. And Tommy, this is like a whole topic unto itself, like how to build your online presence, right? I mean, I think a lot of any new NEMT business owners, like they sort of know that they need to do that, but unlike you, probably a lot of people don't have a background in digital marketing and building an online presence. So I don't know, can you just give some color on like, if I'm a new NEMT business owner, I know I got to build my online presence to win business in my area. Like what's sort of like the main checklist points that I need to go through? And, if it's too much for me, like what resources can I leverage to learn what all I need to do and how to do it?
Absolutely. Great question. So, at a high level view, 100,000-foot view, you would want to have a strong website that's optimized. If you go to our website, ridewithsafetravels.com, I'm sure Nari will have it right there somewhere. Ridewithsafetravels.com, you'll see a good example of a website that is completely optimized for our local community. Our website it sits at the top of Google for all of relevant search terms, like wheelchair transportation, airport transportation, all these different search terms, but combined with our area. So wheelchair transportation in Boynton Beach, wheelchair transportation in Palm Beach County. So those sort of keywords are what's going to help you rank for the website. So going to our website is a great example template for you to see the types of content that needs to be created on your website in order to start ranking in your area. So a localized digital marketing strategy has to be implemented on your website. And again, these aren't things that are overnight. So the quicker that you figure it out and implement it, the quicker Google will read it and rank you and put you in positions that you need to be. But the longer you take, then the adverse, the longer it's going to take for Google to read it, rank you, and customers to actually find you. So that's number one. Your website has to be strong and has to be optimized for your local community. Number 2 is going to be your Google My Business page. Will also have to be optimized for your local area. That's going to have to describe the services that you do in that area. It allows you to pick a few different areas on the Google My Business. So there's you can choose the areas that make the most money. I guess that make the most potential for revenue. So that's so your Google My Business page has to be optimized, and then also your listings across all of the different directories that live on the internet, which there are a lot. Your MapQuest, your TomToms, all those directories that you kind of forgot about, they all still live on the internet and they all still need information. So the more that you sweep across all of those with your information, it just feeds more into Google that you're a business, that you're alive, that you are an actual company, and it'll help you rank more and more and more. So again, these are 100,000-foot views of these sort of things, but These are just some of the key components to a strong digital marketing profile that will allow your transportation company to stand out amongst the other transportation companies that are available. Because most companies in this industry don't really have a strong digital marketing presence. So for you to take the investment to do that will easily jump you above a lot of those companies who haven't invested in something like that. So, again, 100,000 foot view, but I'm giving a lot of gems away that you can, if you do your research, you can dig deep and pull a lot of success out of those things I just said. But yeah, it's something that either you have to have the knowledge within your company, or you'll have to hire out to find that knowledge to implement. But the people that implement are the people that win that race.
So Tommy, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a moment here. That all sounds like a lot of work. I'm a new NEMT business owner. Like, why don't I just go sign up for some brokers in my area? Boom. I don't have to do much marketing work. I get a source of trips. Why do I have to do all this digital marketing? Is it really that worth it?
Great question, and that's a great devil's advocate question. So that's the dilemma in this industry. Do you want to get guaranteed rides from these brokers that you speak of, which hand out lots of rides every day and have you busy a lot? Or do you want to go after the private pay sector, which have a higher return on investment than the broker pays? Brokers typically pay you less. They'll try to pay you a lot less than the market is bearing at the time. So you'll find yourself busy, but what is your bottom line? How much money do you keep from those? What does your revenue look like versus a company that's focused on their digital marketing, that's seeing 80% private pay and 20% broker rise, versus the person who's getting 80% broker rides and 20% private pay. Those are two different bottom lines there. And my devil's advocate answer would be compare those bottom lines. Compare the revenue versus your private pays that you'll be able to bring in, which come with repeat business and come with relationships with hospitals and nursing homes, versus just living strictly off your brokerage, which they don't pay a lot.
Yeah. So do this for me, Tommy. Like, let's say I'm sold, I do the digital marketing, I want to get private pay coming, searching me, finding me online and coming towards me. Break down the private pay for me. Like, am I going to get facilities calling me? Am I going to get individual passengers calling me? Like, what portion of which? How does that work?
Great question. So with living at the top of Google for your searches that you need, like your wheelchair transportation, your stretcher transportation, when you live at Google, top of Google, you get everything. You get a good mix of facilities calling you saying, hey, we're looking for a transportation company because our last transportation company they don't do a good job. So, we have about 20 rides a week. Can you give us a quote? So, you'd be working on quotes like that for different types of facilities, from nursing homes to hospitals. Those calls come in very often. You also get calls from like facilities that need, we're here in South Florida, this might not be across the country, but that need emergency plans. So when they need transportation companies in place in their emergency plans in order to get their emergency plans passed. So they'll reach out to a company like us to say, hey, we have 40 people in our facility. If we have a hurricane, can we contract you guys to transport all of our people from one facility to wherever we're going? And then you make those agreements, and now you're the emergency transportation transportation company for multiple facilities in an area. Those calls come in. But I would say the majority of the calls are going to be individuals actually looking for a ride for themselves, for a loved one, for anybody that in their family that needs a ride to a medical appointment that they have coming up, or a surgery they have coming up. That's the bulk of that private pay. It's people looking for information on how to get transportation for themselves or a loved one. But in a combination of all those things, you're going to find great opportunities for revenue and great opportunities for business relationships, great opportunities for repeat business. This is where that customer service thing I spoke about earlier comes into play. The better your company is at just being nice, answering the phone, smiling, hey, how are you? How can we help? Thanks for your business. Those sort of things go such a long way in this industry. And it turns into repeat business, repeat customers, referral business, and a lot of legs on that octopus.
A lot of legs on that octopus, more than 8 legs on the octopus. Interesting segue into our next segment. So let's say you do this, you build your online presence, it takes time, you do it right, you start getting all these inbound requests for all different kinds of private pay. Now you have this good problem of getting more trip requests than you can handle yourself with the vehicles and drivers you have. Tommy, you've done a lot of working together with other NEMT businesses in your area. You build the online presence, you get trip requests, and then you work with others to get those trip requests fulfilled. Can you tell us about how that has worked out for you?
Yeah. So once you live up there at the top of Google, like you said, it's a great thing to have a lot of inbound calls. You're going to have a strong team to start taking all these inbound calls and making sure that, you're trying to convert them. But once you do that and you start converting them, sometimes you outweigh your workforce. So what I found successful is just reaching out to some of the other top transportation companies in the area and just begin to build a relationship. Hey, we're a company here in South Florida. We sometimes get some overflow business. Would you be interested in partnering with us with some of our overflow business to work together? A lot of times, most of the times they'll be like, yeah, sure, no problem. We're all for that. And you work up a small agreement so that, no one steal each other's customers. And, just as something simple, you don't want to make it too contracty. But that typically works out and they'll want that extra business. They'll like that relationship. You'll work out some pricing that works out for both of you where, hey, if I'm able to provide you volume or you provide me a slight discount on the trips, they typically say yes. And it's just, it's kind of a relationship building negotiation of how are we going to do business together, right? And during that process, numbers get thrown around and you finally, land on something that makes sense for everybody. And as long as that stays consistent, now you can just give them the extra business that your business can't handle. So if one day you get too many trips for your vehicles, call them up, hey, I've got a trip from this city to this city. Do you have any availability? Oh yeah, we do. Great. Let's go ahead and book that. We'll send you the information. So now you've able to take care of the customer who called you for your transport, but two, now you're building a stronger relationship with the companies in the area who get a clean transport, private pay. They get paid right away. So it's not like the other problem with going through brokers is they don't pay you right away. So they typically pay you 90 to 120 days in arrear. And a lot of companies can't stomach that much wait time for money. So with us and with private pay, you're paid right away for your transport. So they like that. And gives us the ability to get a slight discount for being able to provide the transports. So it's worked out well for us. We have great relationships with the companies that are around us. And as we expand, we'll continue to kind of find relationships that make sense for us with others.
Tommy, it seems like a really good path to go. Like you build up your online presence, you get all these trip requests, and now you're essentially passing off ride requests to other NEMT businesses, and you're taking your revenue in the middle. What are some of the risks or concerns or things to be aware of when you're trying to get into that kind of business? Because it seems all nice and it seems great, and I'm sure it really is, but I'm sure that it's not just perfectly seamless to do that
No,
sort of thing.
it's far from perfectly seamless. Perfectly seamless is the very opposite of that. Maybe my smooth talking makes things sound too easy, but no. You know, the other flip side of that is some of these guys say no. You know, you reach out to them, hey, you know, would you like to be involved with? No, we're not interested. We've got enough business. We don't need you. Great. Okay. You know, whoa. You know, so you get that too. So that's definitely part of the process. But when the ones that do say yes are handling business for you, things are out of your control. So it's not your drivers, it's not your systems, it's not your, you can't follow along as you would normally with your own thing. So sometimes issues happen that clearly aren't your fault as the person who booked the trip, but you have to take the blame because you're the person who booked the trip. So we've had some instances where, you know, the driver was extremely late or something happened and Safe Travels is blamed for it, even though we brokered the workout to someone else. So we have to take the good with the bad, right? You know, granted, these companies are supposed to be great and everything and do everything 100%, but we're all human. Things happen, you know, especially in transportation, things happen. We understand that, but the customer will never understand that. So as the person as the company that's doing the brokering, you have to know that all the things that come with that other transportation company, you have to now deal with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Whether they did something good or bad, it's now your fault. So you have to do that. So that's what makes it, you have to be very selective about who you partner with, right? So we have a very strict one strike policy, right? If you do anything that affects our customer base, well, we're done using you. If you steal any of our customers, we're done using you. So, you know, you have to set rules in there so that you can try to mitigate risk, but you'll never mitigate that 100% with dealing with a company that is not yours.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I want to get, Tommy, to your franchising bit. So you have your NEMT business under the brand Safe Travels, and you are going through the process of essentially franchising out your brand to other people who want to be entrepreneurs and want to start their NEMT businesses. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so we have built a strong brand, Safe Travels Transportation. Got my logo here. I don't know if you can see it there. It's a great name. People trust it. Our website's very wholesome. You know, we built a good customer base, and we probably get 2 to 3 requests a week from people asking to franchise the business. Like, how can I franchise? How can I franchise? How can I franchise? So, you know, after getting about 45 of those requests, we decided to go ahead and figure out the process of actually being able to be available as a franchise. So we worked with a company. They helped us get through the franchise document process in order to make Safe Travels Transportation a franchisable transportation brand for anyone in the country. And then we are now franchisable. So it was a lot of paperwork, a lot of back and forth with lawyers, trademarking, a lot of paperwork. We'll just leave it at that. But on the other side of that paperwork and time comes the ability to sell a franchise, sell your business model, sell our logos, and be able to really help people get a leg up in this industry. Everything that I spoke about on this call is what a franchisee would get as being a franchisee. All that digital.
Right, because I wanted to tie this back to the first part of the conversation about building your online presence.
Smart man.
How does doing the franchise give you a leg up in that online presence?
Absolutely. So everything, all that complicated stuff I mentioned earlier, from 100,000 feet up and all that stuff, comes with being a franchisee of Safe Travels Transportation, right? So we have our own consulting firm, safetravelsconsulting.com, which we help entrepreneurs all around the country learn the industry, get in the industry at different points. Some people are already in the industry, some people are trying to get in. So we consult at all different levels. But now that whole consulting is also part of your franchise. So as a Safe Travels franchisee, we're going to help you with your web presence, your Google My Business presence, all your directory presence, everything to help all local traffic that needs that transportation to find your website, find you at the top of Google, get to you faster. We're going to help you understand some people don't even want to understand. Some people just want it done. So we're going to help you get it done. And if you want to understand, we'll teach you along the process. But our goal is to get every one of our franchisees ranking at the top of Google so they can really reap the benefits of private pay. And then if they want to supplement with brokerage work, then we help them do that as well. But our main focus is your digital marketing presence so that you can really get into the revenue faster so that when you get into brokerage, you can wait that 60 to 90 days and feel more comfortable as that money comes in on the back end. So yes, safetravelsfranchise.com. You can find out all the information about how to be a franchisee, what it takes, the money that it takes to invest, everything required. And we're looking to sign our first franchisee pretty soon. We got a lot of good calls in right now.
Awesome. And for everyone watching, I'm putting Tommy's website link in the description of this video. Tommy, thanks so much. This has been awesome and educational. Any final thoughts you want to leave the viewers with?
Yes, I always leave everyone with this. Fall in love with the word how. A lot of the things I said on this call today, you may have sat there and said, well, how do I do that? Or how do I get to that point? Fall in love with that. The more that you discover how, the more that you conquer how, the more that you get on the other side of how, the better your life's going to be, the more things you're going to triumph. The how is the biggest stopper for entrepreneurs in general, the word how. So get over the word how, figure it out, kick its butt, and meet me on the other side.
All right, let's kick some butt.
Let's run, Bambi, run.
My man.
Let's do it.